Dear friends and students, welcome back to the Prithviraj English Academy. As our social studies series is going on for Karnataka State Board, in this video we are going to discuss about 10 standards, chapter number 3, the impact of the British rule in India. Already related to this chapter, first video we have completed. In that we have studied about administrative, land taxes and modern education. We have studied. In this video we are going to discuss about acts during the British rule. Regarding that we are going to study. Constitutional development we are going to study in this video. Okay, without delay, let's start. Constitutional development. Along with the British administration, problems also grew in India. Means along with their administration, problems also grew. In order to alleviate means decrease the problems. Alleviate means what? Decrease. To reduce the problems, reformation in administration became important, and these reformation needed to address the demands of the Indians. Means in that they should be fulfill the wishes of the Indians also, right? The British attempt to create different rules in the form of law and try to implement them. These types of laws helped the evolution of the constitution in India. So now we will study about the very briefly about one by one. Okay, first is what? Regulating Act 1773. So after the implementation of Diwani rights in 1765, the greedy of company officials misused this provision and became rich in corrupt way. Right? Related to the corruption, corruption spiraled out. Spiraled means it got increasing. So for that one, Edmund Burke, a member of the British Parliament, criticized the corruption in the East India Company, and he said that British government receiving the payment from the British East India Company as criminal taxes these are. So for that, after this one, he was forced to criticize in this manner, as the government remained silent to the fact of corruption among the company officials, because it is known by everyone, but nobody is going to be right. Many, because in this one most of they have become the rich, they are the super rich, not only the rich in a government means British East India Company, those employees are there, officials, they are super rich. If suppose the politicians, if they want to speak against them, then the whole political scenario only going to collapse. Means that much of rich there people of the East India Company. Okay, so don't want to. So but somehow they want to control on it, so they regulating. They regulate means they want to control. Who? The British government wants to control over the East India Company. For that they have implemented the Regulating Act in 1773. So main features of this act is what? Before implementation of this act, there were three presidencies. In India of the British. Three presidency. One is Bengal, one more is Madras, and one more is Bombay. Madras, Bengal, and Bombay. These are the three residencies of the Britishers, and all these three were independent administrative units before the Regulating Act. But under the Regulating Act, Bengal presidency gained control over the over the other two presidencies. Means this one got a authority, a control over these two. Bombay and Madras, they got under the control of the Bengal provinces. Okay. After that, okay. Then second point, the governor of Bengal became the governor general of all the three presidencies by the regulating act. Before this, means in Bengal one governor general was there, but now he was the governor general of the three presidencies. The governor general has the authority to direct, exercise, control and supervise over the other two presidencies. The Bombay and Madras presidencies could not declare war on anyone or enter into the peace agreements without prior approval of the Governor General of the Bengal. Means if the Madras and Bombay presidents, they could not be declared any war. If they want to enter into the peace, then they have to take before the permission from the Governor General of the Bengal, and along with that presidency means Bengal, and along with that they have to take a permission from the board of the directors of the company. Okay, whenever the what you are going to call any acute, yeah, any emergencies are there, that time they can independently they can act, means Bombay and Madras provinces. Otherwise they have to take a permission from the both Governor General of Bengal and as well as directors, board of the directors, right. So because of this, according to this act, Supreme Court was established. Supreme Court was established in the Kolkata. Please have this one. Okay, and in this one, no, one central court. In that, one chief justice and three other ordinary judges were there as a judges of the Supreme Court. That time in Kolkata, this is what Supreme Court building it is, right. So I hope you have understood related to that regulating act. Three things you have to remember here. One is before the history, before how it is, there were three presidencies, Bombay, Madras and the Bengal, right, and these three are the independent administrative units. But after that, after the regulating act, Bengal presidency has the control over these two, and Governor General of Bengal became the Governor General of these three, and the Madras and Bombay presidency, they should not be entered into the war, and they should not be means they should not be declare war against anyone, and they should not be entered into the peace. If suppose they want, then they have to take a permission before of the Governor General of Bengal and the board of directors, right. Now move to the second act, Pitt's India Act 1784. There were many inconsistencies in the regulating act, means problematic may be there, right. So now you want to rectify them. Rectify means to correct them. So for that purpose, East India means for that British government Pitt's Act was implemented. Means the government of England restricted the powers of the East India Company. A new institution came. Name is Board of Controllers. Board of Controller. New institution name according to the Pitt's Act, it is Board of Controllers. Okay. In this means it has 6 commissioners was started. So Board of Controller is the replacement of what? Board of Directors. Before Board of Directors were there, now it is Board of Controllers. Okay, in place of that. Okay, along with that, means Board of Controller had the power to direct and control the issues like related to the land tax, military and civil affairs, right. And this board acts came into existence in the place of the Board of Directors, already we came to know, right. Now move to the next. This act declare means Pitt's Act declare that the Indians have attained their paramount power in the name of the British Empire only, but not on their own. Means here the Indians have the power, means they have the power, but on what? On the British Empire, name of the British Empire, not by their own, right? So, and along with that, it declared that the areas under the position of the East India Company are the integral part of the East India Company. It is very important. Those areas were there under control of the British Company of the Indians, those are the integral, means those are the part of the British government according to the Pitt's Act, right? And government of England is the ultimate ruler of the India according to them, according to the Pitt's Act, right? Now come to the Chartered Act. Chartered Act's main aim is to, main aim of the Chartered Act is what? Renew the license of the East India Company for 20 years. The duration means from 1793 to 1813, 1833, 1853. These are the acts, Chartered Acts implemented. The main purpose is what? To renew the, there is a possibility to ask you a question, what is the main purpose of Chartered Acts for 1 marks? So you have to remember that. Renew the license of the East India Company is the main aim of Chartered Acts. Chartered Acts. Okay. So here they are going to implement it once in a 20 years. Okay. The new rules and regulation found fit by the British government was included in these acts. Okay. After 20 years they are going to make changes in that. If they are going to add the new rules and regulations, those are going to fit according to the British government. Okay. Among these we are going to study about 1813, 1833. These are the important. We are going to study them. Okay, one by one. Now move to the next. Chartered Act of 1813. This is very important. Why? Okay, this act means license the East India Company to stay for another 20 years in India from 1813 to 1833. They can stay. Okay. Before the implementation of this act, a demand to allow any interested person to carry out the trade in India was there. This act allowed this demand and authorized all the interested they can carry out the trade in India. With this act, the free trade era started in India. Okay, a new era of license and authorization started. The board of directors was vested with the powers to appoint the Governor General and Commander in Chief. Okay. Then next, the churches were allowed to enter India officially now. Churches. Okay. Christian missionaries were directed to enter the knowledge of the Indians and also enhance the moral and spiritual life of the Indians. Missionaries, their work is what? They have to enhance the knowledge of Indians and they have to enhance the morality and spirituality of the spiritual life of Indians. Okay. Many Christian missionaries started arriving in India after this act and they want to expansion Christianity and English education in India. Okay. Because of this one development, the Chartered Act of 13 is going to consider as a historical. 1833 Chartered Act. Okay. After 20 years. Okay. This act aimed to improve the situation in India. It is licensed East India Company for remaining 20 years. Okay. The main aspect of this act is what? Governor General of Bengal was named as a Governor General of India. It's very important. What it is? Governor General of Bengal became the Governor General of the India. So Governor General has the power to direct, control and supervising all the trades in India. Central government of Bengal had the final right because those time the central government was there in Bengal only. They can decide the issues like war, peace and diplomatic relationship with the princely states of India, right? Next, move to the Governor General was mandated to put his difference opinion with the executive committee members in writing whenever he differed with the majority of opinion. The act barred any discrimination on basis on the means it restricted the discrimination on basis on the religion, birth and skin color. The Governor General was mandated to appoint law professional as a member of his executive office. So all the British companies were allowed to trade relation in India. These are the main things. Now move to the exercise part. When did the Regulating Act came into force? 1773. When was the Pitt's India Act passed? Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act. When it was implemented? 1784. When did Chartered Acts came into force? When did the Chartered Acts were implemented? From when it started? From 1793, right? Now move to the next. British Government Acts means from 1858 to 1947 we are going to call them as a British Government Acts. Before we are going to call them as a East India Company Act. Now it is because after the first war of Indian independence, afterwards the British government directly took the administration by the Queen, right? So now move to the here. After the Sipai Mutiny, a first war of Indian independence, it took place due to the maladministration of the East India Company and anti-Indian acts of 1857. Okay. As a result, the administration of India was handed over to the British Queen. Means because of these things, after that the power has gone to transfer to the British Queen from East India Company. During this period, Indian Government Acts of the 1858, 1861, 1892, 1909, 1919, 1935 were the implemented. Okay. So one by one we will come to know first 1858. Indian Government Act 1858. Backdrop of civil and military unrest that took place in 1857, right? India came under the direct rule of the British government. The Queen of England, Victoria, announced that all-round development of India would be ensured by the British government on the November 1st, 1858, right? So what is there in this one? So following are the very important here. The license of East India Company was cancelled now onwards from the 1858 Act. According to that, East India Company, the license was cancelled and India was brought under the direct administration of the Queen. The post Governor General was cancelled and that will going to change into the Viceroy. So for that, first Viceroy is Lord Canning. Okay, you will going to for 1 mark, so please remember this one. And a new post also called, that is Secretary of the State for India, was created in the British government. The secretary was the part of the British cabinet and was responsible for the administration of the India. A Council of India was created in order to assist the secretary in the administration. The council had the 15 members. The council had the 15 members. Okay, I hope you are understanding. Now let's move to the Indian Council Act of 1861. Okay, so Indians were allowed in participating in the process of creating laws. Okay, so in order to understand the aspiration of Indians, representation was given to the Indians. This is called the policy of assertion. Policy of assertion. The following are the important. Indians were nominated to the Council of Viceroy as non-official members. They are not officially, but they are the non-officially. Okay, Viceroy was authority to proclaim ordinance. You can proclaim the ordinance. Okay, in case of emergency. Okay, so then next, these are the very important 2 to 3 things you have to remember regarding that. Okay, now move to the next. Indian Council Act of 1909. Okay, this is going to call it as a, this act will going to call it Minto Marlowe Reform Act also we are going to call one more name for this one. Why? Because Lord Minto was the viceroy during that time and Lord Morley was the secretary of the state for the India. Okay, so this act was used for what? Divide and rule in India. So following are the important features. Okay, what that? Total number of central legislature members was increased from 16 to 60. First it is 16, 16. Now it is 60. The member of the regional council members, number of the regional councils also increased. Representation of the religion council was allowed through the election for the first time. For the first time the election there, and here according to 1909 they provided a separate representation for the Muslims and for them separate electoral college also there. Means they want to divide Hindu and Muslim in a separate. Okay, so now come to the 1919 Act. 1919 Act, right? Actually according to them Indians have taken the part in a first war. So here Lord Montagu, who was the Secretary of State for the Indians, argued in favor of the provide more representation to the Indians in the matter of the administration. He was in a favor of the allowing peoples to participate in a formation of the government. So Lord Chelmsford, the viceroy of the during that time, he declared various reformative measures to the British Parliament in 28 1917. Indian Council Act of 1990 was formulated by the accepting this report. This act is also called it as a Montagu-Chelmsford Reformation Act. So main things we have to mean for features of this one. According to this one, we got the bicameral legislature. Bicameral means 2 houses in a legislation. One is lower house and one more is upper house. And next it is what? Thaiki was allowed at the regional government. Thaiki was allowed in a regional government. And High Commissioner was appointed for the India. Promised to improve the local self-government. Provisional budget was separated from the central budget. And here before according to 1909 only Muslims had a separate electoral college. Now along with the Muslims, Sikh, Anglo-Indians and Europeans had the separate electoral college. Okay, now move to the Government of India Act 1935. So this act as the base of the formation of Indian Constitution, because most of the things you have borrowed from this one. Okay. The report was submitted in the year of 1928 by the Motilal Nehru. Okay, those have added in this one, this act. Okay, the Motilal Nehru advice also. Okay, means Indian Constitution most of the time it is based on the Government of India Act of 1935. This act was applicable both to the Indian principalities and the also the British regionals. Means whatever the things may be there here in the Government of India Act 1935, those will going to applicable to the both in India also and in a British also. Just match them. Government Acts of Government of India Act 1935, Montego Chelmsford Act 1919, Minto Marley Reformation Act 1909, Bharatiya Parishad Act 1961. So I hope my dears you understood the things. If you have any doubt still, then please comment and share this video among your friends, and do like and subscribe my channel. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.